In the last session, we have learned the basic terms in accounting. In this session, we shall learn the classification of asset. Let's say first, asset. These are the resources owned by a business which have future economic value and which can be realized in terms of money. I repeat, what is the asset? These are the resources owned by a business which have some future economic value and which can be realized in terms of money. In short, what should be remembered as an asset? Properties belonging to the business and money is receivable. What is asset? Properties belonging to the business and money is receivable. Whatever are the properties of the business, land, building, plant, furniture, machinery, all that are called as assets, and also money is receivable. Money is receivable means wherever from whom we have to receive the money is called as money is receivable, is nothing but an asset. Let's see the classification based on convertibility of the asset, physical existence of the asset, and based on its usage. The asset is classified as convertibility, current assets and non-current assets. Based on physical existence, tangible and intangible, and usage, operating and non-operating asset. This is also a modern approach to the classification. Current assets. These are the assets that can be easily converted into cash. What are current assets? Those assets which are easily converted into cash. That means we can sell it and get immediate cash. Like, for example, marketable securities, debtors, bills receivable, bank balance, the best, cash in hand. We can add one more, stock. Stock is nothing but the goods. So these are the current assets. Marketable securities, debtors, bills receivable, bank balance, cash and stock. The meanings of all this we have learned in the basic terms. So what is current asset? I repeat, the asset which can be easily converted into cash is called as a current asset. Opposite, non-current asset, also called as fixed asset, which cannot be converted easily into cash. These are the assets, the benefit of which is derived for a long period of time and which cannot be easily converted into cash. Fixed asset, we say that it is asset, the benefit of which is derived for a long period of time. Now, take the example of a residential house. When you have constructed the residential house according to your own specifications, within a month will you sell it and start with the new construction? No. We stay in the house for a long period. That means the benefit from that we get for a longer period of time. That is called as an fixed asset, also called as non-current asset. Now, non-current assets can be land and buildings, plant and machinery, furniture and fixtures, goodwill, patents, etc. The benefit of which is derived for a long period of time. They are called as fixed asset. This is the classification based on the convertibility, current and non-current. Current, easily converted into cash. Fixed asset, non-current, they cannot be easily converted into cash. Based on the physical existence. The asset which has physical existence, which we can see, we can touch, we can feel, is called as tangible asset. Intangible, which has no physical existence, which we cannot see, nor we can touch, nor we can feel, that is called as an intangible asset. Here, these assets have physical existence, that is, we can touch the asset, feel the asset and see the asset, but intangible have no physical existence. Now, tangible assets, when we call tangible assets, this includes same land and buildings, plant and machinery, furniture is a tangible asset, cash is a tangible asset, goods, or we can say it as stock. These are all the tangible assets. Any vehicle, etc., which we can see, which we can touch, is tangible. Intangible, which we cannot see, nor we can touch. It has no physical existence. The assets like goodwill. Can we see the goodwill? Can we touch the goodwill? No, that is intangible. Goodwill, patents, copyrights, etc. These are all the intangible assets. So based on the physical existence, it is classified as tangible and intangible. Last, classification based on usage. Operating asset and non-operating asset. Operating asset means the assets that are required in the daily operation of the business. That means without those assets, we cannot continue with the daily operations. These are called as operating assets, such as land and buildings, plant and machinery, furniture, cash, goods. All these are operating assets which are used in the business to run their daily operations. Without land, without building, without plant, machinery, the daily operations cannot be continued. Non-operating asset. This is an asset, but these assets are not required for daily business. These assets are not required for daily business operations, but can still generate some revenue. What are operating assets? Which are used in the daily operations. Non-operating, which are not used in the daily operations, like fixed deposits. When we have fixed deposit, we receive the interest. That means from the asset we are getting the income. So we say that can still generate revenue. But fixed deposit that we keep, do we use that fixed deposit in the daily business? No. What we use is current account and the saving account deposit. Any fixed deposits or any short-term investments that you have done, shares purchased or amount invested in shares of a company, these are all the non-operating asset. That means you have done the investment, you have purchased that asset, but that asset is not used in the daily operation of the business. This is called as non-operating asset. Now, I just repeat in brief. Classification of asset is done. First, what is asset? Properties belonging to the business and money is receivable. Classification based on convertibility, based on physical existence and its usage. Based on convertibility, current, non-current. Current asset which can be converted into cash, non-current which cannot be converted into cash. Based on physical existence, tangible and intangible. Tangible which has some existence, physical existence which we can see, touch and feel. Intangible has no physical existence which we cannot see, nor we can touch, nor we can feel the asset. Based on usage, operating asset which is used in the daily operations of the business. Non-operating, which is not used in the daily operations of the business but can generate some revenue. They are called as non-operating asset. So this is nothing but the modern approach to the classification of asset. In this session, we have learned classification of asset. In the next session, we shall solve the problems on accounting equations. Thank you.